How's everyone doing? I'm J Pinkert. Recently accepted. Hi, how are you, Matthias? Recently accepted a position with yourtradingroom.com, where I run the swing trading program for their proprietary traders and also teach their membership. So my title is Coach Trader. Here's the website. They made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I closed it. See? Too late. Too late to join that one. Okay. You know, when the trade is there, you have to take it. Thanks, Rob. Okay, how many dollar bulls in the room here? How many dollar bears in the room here? How many are strongly neutral? Okay. Let's take a look at the Dixie. That's the way we start here. Can you see it? Everyone see the U.S. dollar index chart in front of them? Can I get a Y if you can see the chart? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so the dollar pulled back to the 74.40 area, took out these lows, now trading above it. So here's your second successive higher low from this recent low at the 73 level. And although it may be short-term overdone here and the dollar may pull back, to me this is a very constructive chart pattern. Really got decisive after the holiday when, of course, Portugal's debt was downgraded and the euro led the way down. We had talked about cable leading the way down before euro finally got hit hard. We had a nice bounce in Canada. I think there could be a significant low developing there, a higher low above the low that we had at the 94.40 range. And to me it looks like Aussie and Kiwi are either having topped. Aussie obviously topped since it still was 210 pips or so away while Kiwi was making new highs, which I considered a bearish development since during the bull phase, Aussie led the way all the way up and Kiwi tagged along. Now the reverse has been happening for at least a few months now. Okay, so here you go. You're looking at daily. I think we're going to crack through this level, and this formation can take you up to, I was looking for about a 78 target, but it even measures higher than that. So I was talking about it 78 here, 78 here. I've talked about this. It's not going to be a one-way trip, but once we get above these highs, it should really accelerate. So I'm dollar bullish. Short term, I think it's a little overdone. They changed future source. It was something that I used that I didn't in real time. I didn't need the real time. And I would show you dollar index charts from here, and then I could go the weekly. They don't have a weekly here. Anyone have a good source for a dollar index chart that I could be using or that you guys use? You guys should be following the Dixie. If not, it's kind of like someone who trades Apple and doesn't pay attention to NASDAQ, or IBM and doesn't pay attention to the Dow. You have to follow the basket. As of late, there's been a breakdown of certain correlations It started with commodities. When the market went up, commodities went down. Normally, everything was going up and down together. Stock markets held up well during these last 2 days of dollar strength here, and that can last for a while. Once we start getting above these highs, I think it'll start to pressure equities quite a bit. So any questions before I move on? And I reserve the right to, if evidence presents itself, to flip from this opinion. But right now, to me, I believe these lows here are going to hold at the 74.40 level, and I think that we're more likely to attack stops, buy stops above these levels than sell stops here. Maybe we're going up into, which is counterintuitive, maybe the dollar's going to go up into this debt ceiling chicken game that they're going to play until August 2nd, because people are going to want to take risk off, and most people don't believe there's going to be any kind of default. They think a deal will be struck, and the dollar looks better when compared to what's happening in Europe, despite the fact that there was a relief rally last week because of the Greek situation being resolved only short term, and that's what the market realized this week. So I'm pretty negative, looking for rallies to sell in the risk pairs. Still negative cables, still negative euro. Still looking for a place to short Aussie, Kiwi. Haven't committed to that trade yet. Any questions? Okay, well then I could get rid of the dollar index chart, and let's go to the pairs. Okay, let's start off with the USD Canada. A formation that I've talked about here a lot that I teach is called the 3 drive to a top formation with divergence. On the dailies, we had 3 drives to a top that kept squeezing shorts. The divergences that I teach, your best shorts are under 70. This is a new indicator that I've begun to use. I'm not a real big indicator guy, but this is a proprietary YTR indicator called the MACD Platinum. And as you can see, you got an arrow cell right near the top, which confirmed the divergence I was getting. So we have this big break in here in Canada. Over the last several weeks, I've been saying I think they're going to shake out the week longs under these lows, that there would be stops there. They got them last week into the holiday weekend. We're starting to get a little bit of a turn this week. It's my contention that where we're at in USD CAD right now, this is your monthly chart, is that we're going to hold this low, is my belief. And we're going to set up something on a higher low and then resume equal this rally or some type of fib extension above it. Because now that you've taken out most of the sell stops, you'll start to see some buy stops setting up. You know there's a ton over here before the break occurred. So people looking for new lows in this pair, if they miss that, maybe they sold this rally. Actually, I think there could be a retest of these lows, but my contention is that we don't take out below the move. So I'm looking for reasons to buy. It's a neutral week, a hang week. Didn't do anything except stabilize. But I'm going to be looking to place bets on the long side of USD CAD here. I think that there could be a pretty good move. This move from low to high was 94.45, up to 98.97 was at the high. 99.10 was the high. So you're talking about 400, call it 470 pips. So from where this low takes place, you could have equality of 470 pips, but since it's setting up a higher low, it could be a wave 3, and wave 3s are usually a fib extension of a wave 1. So this next move from wherever the lows come in could be a 700 pip move. So you're talking about the potential, if we bottom around this area, of 102. So that's my take here. I'm looking to play the long side of this. I think this was a shakeout to get out all the people who were looking for par and never saw it. That's my take on USD CAD. Any questions on this pair? Okay, let's move on to Euro USD. I took a swing trade up here. Again, I had divergence. This was the relief rally after the Greek situation, plus the U.S. got some very good data points, shook out a lot of bears. In fact, they took out many stops over this high on the daily. So this to me was a short covering rally, took out the stops over this high. 145.20 was 61.8 back of this decline. Overshot the 61.8 fib level by 50-60 pips. And we've achieved, I believe we're close or getting close to the first wave down being completed. The fact that we took out this low, which was last Friday's low, gives me more of a bearish take on this now. So I'm looking to sell rallies in this pair. It's my belief that we're going to trade down to this wedge line minimum. And down the road, that's coming in the next few weeks in the 137 level. So I'm going to attempt shorts on the bounce that we get from here. Still believe there's a ton of people that are bearish the dollar, looking for the imminent demise of the dollar, that we're going to take out stops along the way down here. We started this process this week. This was a significant low to take out, and this was a very significant low to take out. So now I'm looking for a failing rally to initiate short positions. Believe we're going to go for the grand prize. Ton of stops here, here, and here. Any questions on where I stand on Euro USD and why? Anyone catch a short side here in Euro USD? Again, check out this platinum MACD indicator. First time I saw it, I kind of laughed at it. I said, how could it be so easy that you just wait for an arrow to tell you to do something? You guys know me. But I've noticed if I just waited for this arrow, I would have had less of a drawdown on my short here, because it didn't take the short until after the high. Maybe you had a 30, 40 pip drawdown here. Nice trade. It called a nice trade. Can't get this indicator anywhere but at YTR as a member. Any questions on Euro before I... Good for you, Tyler. Congratulations. Have you taken profits? Nice trade. Because you faded the woman I saw, Money in Motion on CNBC. She at the end of last week, she was buying Euro Yen. So that's how I knew I had a shot to be right, just short Euro. They both paid about the same. Yes, I watch CNBC sometimes. She's been right too. Okay, any questions on Euro? Move over to cable. You guys know how I stand in cable. I've been talking about the bearish case in cable for quite some time. Before it broke down, this is a weekly wedge that we've broken down out of. You can't rule out some type of bounce, but this looks very vulnerable to me. Again, I'm dollar positive, and that makes me negative GBP USD. You took out a lot of stops. You know, maybe they're going to squeeze some shorts here and we get a real nice rally. You know, maybe we rally back to 62.5, 63. It's possible. Actually, it's acting pretty good today. We're putting in a higher low. So I may look to scalp the long side of this. I'd almost rather prefer to scalp the long side of this than Euro at this stage. Euro not demonstrating the same type of tail on the daily. Barely have a tail. Okay? So which one's weaker? They're both weak. But this is, after the last 2 days, this is showing more of a chance of being able to rally here. Anyway, I prefer to sell a rally in cable, but I may take a shot for a reaction here. Haven't gotten any kind of buy signal here off the Platinum MACD. Okay. Maybe we should see what the indicator is. Oh, it's there. The ATR is coming in right around the same level. So above 61.5, they're going to squeeze shorts above this high. Maybe they even go for shorts here. Interesting. I'm glad I'm doing this webinar. Any questions on cable? Still on a sell on the 4 hour. Have to believe there's a lot of stops above this 160-140 area. That looks pretty compelling to me. But maybe it has to go down first and make a new low. There should be some divergence if we take out 59. Again, pretty much on time for this one. Moving over to US dollar yen. I tried the long side of this pair this week. It was basically this day when it got through 80. But it didn't do what it should have done. If you were buying this pair looking for hedging protection against a strong dollar, it didn't happen. So this action to me is a bit disappointing. Maybe we need one more trip down here in US dollar yen. So I may be looking for a short here. I'm really surprised they didn't get the stops above here, but maybe they need these stops first. Some type of triangle forming here. Should be some pretty good stops along the way, all the way down here. In fact, the longer term bear case of this, and I think that we could go possibly as high as 82 to 84 before this happens, but we may make one trip down here, one more trip down, but hold 80. So somewhat neutral this pair, but short-term negative on US dollar yen. Yes, Mac Trader, what are you asking me? Euro USD? We covered it. Were you late? Did you hear it? You want me to go over it again? I'm negative Euro. I think it's significant that we took out this low. So I'd be looking for rallies to sell into euro. I think that we're headed back. I think they're going to take out these lows, these lows, these lows, trade down towards 138 or so, 137.5. I think we're going to bounce. And I lighten up and I go into the NFP number. That's a 4-hour flat, because trading in from the NFP is not trading. It's roulette. It's a black or red bet. And stop losses are, they don't matter when there are air pockets like that. So I stand aside and possibly position myself after the release. Something to consider, trading in front of big news events. Sometimes the right trade is no trade. And being in cash is a position too. And sometimes we see the forest from the trees. We see the forest from the trees better from the sidelines. Okay? Let's go over to US dollar Swiss. We have that nice bounce off the high. The question's going to be, we're getting a nice pullback. This one we did have some very good divergence in here, especially on the shorter time frames. Down here at the lows, we had all kinds of divergence, 3 drive to a bottom formation. So the key is going to be here, are we going to put in a higher low? The jury's out, but I'm watching it. I wouldn't rule out one more attack at the low, but I think that we're way overdue for some type of higher low. We haven't had a higher low in quite some time, have we? That's turned into anything. So I'd call the last couple of days inconclusive. There probably are some stops built up underneath the market, and we got this rally because people thought the Greek situation was under control. Now we're getting a test of it. So it depends on, actually this rallied with the euro, okay, and has come off with the euro, which is strange. So again, to me, this is inconclusive, but I lean towards the long side of it, looking for reasons that perhaps this was wave 1 and we're setting up some type of higher low in here in Swiss. And now you got Swiss bears coming in that are going to have a lot of stops here. A lot of stops here. We never took out that high, right? So there's lots of stops above the market. People have been short this. Yeah, there was a lot of unwind of the short euro, long Swiss trade, right? But there could be more unwinding. So my bias is bullish on this pair, although I wouldn't rule out one more shot down. One more shot down to me would be a buying opportunity at new lows, because I believe it'll be unconfirmed. The dots, it's an RSI YTR indicator measured against stochastic readings. They have some very good proprietary indicators. And this is their platinum MACD indicator. Arrows included. Okay. Now here's Euro Cable. I've recently started following it. I know some people were bullish this pair, looking to buy the pullback. I don't see anything there yet. In fact, it looks pretty vulnerable to me. This may be another reason why I favor cable for a long over euro. This chart looks pretty heavy to me. And people have been trading this side of the trade for a long time. Okay? Making money, being long euro, short cable. Looks like this trade is unwinding. The stops aren't from the dots. The stops are based upon highs and lows where I believe they are. People have asked me before, well, Dale, how do you know where the stops are? Is that what you'd like to know, McTrader? Is that what you'd like to know? This is how you find out. It's not a big secret. Look at your chart, then ask yourself, if I was long, where would I place my sell stop? No. Not by spikes. Where would I place my sell stop? That's where they are. If I was short, where would I place my buy stops? You're not the only one that would come with that conclusion. Okay, so, I want to know that because I think that you could trade with a bias thinking they're going to take out a low or a high. Because, it's my belief that my contention that markets are so vicious that they will shake out as many people as possible before the move that they're anticipating happens, most likely without them. So there's a couple of ways to take advantage of that is where you believe a lot of stops are, be positioned into that event. Be positioned into that event. Or wait for that event to happen and look for reasons to fade it. Okay? Okay, I'm going to wrap up with Aussie. I'm thinking there might be people, how many people have been to my webinars here before that are here today? Some regulars? Rob? Okay. Rob, why aren't I short the Aussie yet? What have you learned from me being here when I talk about top picking with momentum divergence and bottom looking for turning points at lows with RSI divergence? Do you remember? What about the RSI? I've been teaching that your best sales are when the RSI is under 70. Okay. Too high, you're right. The reading's over 70. So the fact that we've had a confirmed high tells me, what other thing did I teach? How many drives to a top? 1, 2, maybe one more. So I'm anticipating one more high in Aussie on the 4 hour. Could break down from here, but I think that I'd have my first non-confirmation up there. You got it, Rob. Whereas Kiwi here's the other reason I prefer the short in Aussie. Here's Kiwi, the weekly Kiwi. I think it's topping too. But here's the weekly Aussie. Aussie topped quite some time ago, didn't it? 110.11, May 1st. So Kiwi, which one's weaker? This? There's reasons not to be long, or this? This? Or this? Which one's weaker? You guys chart. Is the pair making a new high weaker than the one making a lower high? You know what the secret to FX trading is? There's no secret. All you would have to diagnose is, they're both related currencies, but this one keeps making new highs for a series of weeks, while this one can't make a new high. So this is my preferred short between the two. So I'll be looking for something to set up on some shorter term charts, 4 hour, 1 hour. Okay? So those are the pairs that I cover. Any questions? Remember, if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. I'm flat. I was short euro. Covered today. Oh, just by the way the markets trade. I still think that even though it shows a lot of market consensus turning bullish, members at certain sites, that the dollar is still very much underloved. I don't think you have a ton of dollar bulls. We're not there yet. Anything else? What's your most valuable currency? Rooms, Rob. They have rooms in Asia, London. I think it probably favors equities, U.S. dollar denominated assets, because the dollar looks good for a while. Like it did in November, bottom in November of 2009, but we didn't have the flash crash until May. So the dollar could be good for a while without the equities going down. I think that was 4 months worth. So I teach in the Platinum Room. I work with they have a proprietary trading program there. And I post on the forums. And this is where I am now. Anyone answer the question? What your most valuable currency is? It's your time. Because money, pips come and go, and time is gone forever. You got it, Ken. So I want to thank everyone for spending some of your most valuable currency with me today. I hope that I opened your eyes to a few things in the markets, things that I look for. I hope that some of my forecasts help you in your trading in the coming days. You're welcome, Ken. Mac Trader. Good hunting to everybody. Matthias, say hello to the FX Street family for me. Appreciate you and Adinda recording this. And you guys will be able to find this on the FX Street website. Matthias, can you send me a link once it's up on the site? I'd appreciate it. And remember this, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Okay? Adios, everyone. Good trading to you.